On Wednesdays at 7, sharp as can be, Blue Gal's calling, come knit with me.
Hey guys, Blue Gal here. I have socks to show. Let's get started right away with the April socks, which are the Slow Day socks. And very interesting heel construction where you increase the rib in the leg at the heel from 6 to 42 stitches and then do a short row foot and finish off with a standard toe. And I had some very nice compliments on Blue Sky as to how I matched the stripes, but the stripes don't match on the feet. So it just, the toes don't match and they're just off a little bit. But I'm very happy with them. I think they're fine. And the yarn is, oh gosh, it's a German yarn, and it's rainforest in the color Congo Sally. I will link below to my Ravelry page for this and show you the yarns, and you can see the yarns and everything. But this yarn is still available out there. I know that Jimmy Beans has this yarn. If anybody loves it as much as I do, feel free. And it is Knit a Second Sock, Knit a Long Week, or 10 days, whatever, till next Wednesday, the 30th. If you want to finish your pair of socks before the end of the month and want to join in on Blue Sky, we are using the hashtag Second Sock KAL, and it's a lot of fun. And so thank you to everybody at Blue Sky who responded to me posting those socks. That was very kind of you. And I also started this week, because I'm now between socks. I'm not starting another sock until the first of the month. But I wanted to play around with sock yarn colors. I'm making something called the Losi hat, which I've talked about before. Losi stands for leftover sock yarn. This is a free pattern. You hold together 2 strands of leftover sock yarn and just cast on size 6 needles, cast on 112 stitches and do knit 3 purl 1. No ribbing, just knit 3 purl 1. And then I do recommend downloading the free pattern and doing the 15 rounds that close off the top of the hat and following that carefully, because the author of this, it's Fabric Works in Superior, Wisconsin. They take a great deal of care in making sure that ribbing, that knit 3 purl 1 ribbing that's in the body of the hat, carries up as far as possible to the crown of the hat. So I started with two strands of a solid leftover just for a few rows, and then I jumped in with this really bold stripe. Try to show that. And that is a crayon. Is it crayon box? Yeah, crayon box. And I'm also using some leftover, I think this is hand-dyed blue, all blues, to carry a fairly consistent colorway through. But you can see if you do a bold striped yarn along with a semi-solid or a speckled, it really looks nice. And I handed out, I went through my leftover sock yarn stash and put together some bags of kits for my guild, because we all knit hats for charity that are given away at the Christmas time. That's when we have an outlet that will take them. And so I handed out some kits. And one of the women who took 2 of the kits, took a pink kit and a purple kit. I saw her yesterday at church at our Stitch and Go group, And she said, I didn't think you had put enough yarn in there for a hat. And you totally did. I was surprised at um, how far that yarn went and how little yarn you need to make one of these hats. And as I said, it's 75 grams. So again, one of the things that separates real expert hardcore knitters um, is that sets them aside is having a gram scale to weigh yarn. And that's how you know how much yarn you have is by weighing it, not by measuring out yards or anything like that. So 75 grams, excuse me, is what you need to make a hat. And so you can bunch them together. The other thing my friend said that I thought was really interesting, she said one of the things you need to make these hats and make them a success is bad lighting. Because you won't trust that mixing colors is going to work. And just taking two strands and keep knitting, and it looks good. And it really does. You can really mix crazy colors together and have it turn out to look like um, a whole, to look like an actual, pre-planned hat. So this is a pattern I really love. Like I said, it's size 6 needles. It goes super fast. I started this week and I'm ready to do the crown. And the crown takes, a movie. So you can get it done really quickly. Losy, Losy, leftover sock yarn hat on Ravelry. It's free pattern. Okay. And if you're between socks, it's a great thing to get kind of, I have that hankering to play with color and play with sock yarn, and it works. So I'm traveling. I'm going to be on vacation next week. I'm doing a couple trips. I'm doing a car trip, and then I'm coming back home, and then I'm doing a plane trip. And so I've been, as you all know, those of you who are knitters, you can pack your clothes in 20 minutes, and it takes hours to figure out what yarn project you're going to take with you, or projects. And my plane trip is going to be over the first of, I'll go before, but I'm going to be on the destination of my trip on the first of the month. So I am taking my Frog in a Blender green yarn, and I'll be doing the theme for next month, for May, for Grocery Girls, is your favorite sock pattern. So I'll just be doing the sock pattern in my head, which is Yarn Harlots sock recipe. And it's a knit 3 purl 1. I do knit 1 purl 1 for an inch, and then I do knit 3 purl 1 for the leg and the top of the foot, and a heel flap. 64 stitches, usually takes around 70 to 75 grams. And so, yeah, that will go along. And then I've been thinking about it and what I want to take, and I really am going to be good and work on UFOs on this trip. So, and I'm going to take fairly large UFO on the car trip. I can show you the yarn. It's acrylic yarn because I'm just knitting sweatshirts for myself. But I'm making Elm Grove, which is a Barocco pattern. It's got this nice little lace at the neckline. Very inclusive sizes. And I've got over 300 stitches on the needles. I'm below the underarm. And I made it big. And yeah, it's a lot of stitches in stockinette. And I've got about 10 inches of stockinette to do on all those stitches. So I'm going to take that in the car. My husband does all the driving, and I'm going to try to see how many inches of knitting I can get done on this car trip. And I'll let you know, because you guys hold me accountable. I really appreciate having this podcast to do that. One of the things I promised you I was going to do last week was wind that yarn for the Eat the Rich, Fuck Trump, or Slava Ukraine hat. And I think I am going to do Slava Ukraine on my chart. I'll show that chart again. This is by Jerry Dow. I've marked the midway points, and I'm making it an E and so forth. So I've made some notes. But one of the things that was kind of hampering my ability to get this hat started was I hate winding. I hate winding yarn. And these skeins of Tosh Merino Light needed to be wound. And I wound them today because I promised you guys I would. So here's the blue in a cake. And then when I cut off the little tie strands for the yellow, it kind of exploded. And I think it wasn't wound right. So I have lots of little balls of yellow. But I did wind it all and it's ready to go. So yeah, it's ready. It's wound. It's ready to go. Accountability. Again, accountability. And I wanted to show you someone on Blue Sky. Okay. I mean, really. This is I Am Melissa on Blue Sky. And she knit this one. Free pattern, very, very generously done free pattern. I've mentioned it on several podcasts before, but I'm so grateful to see that someone knit this with regular ribbing instead of corrugated ribbing. The original pattern called for corrugated ribbing, and that was the other thing that was holding me up from casting it on was I really don't think that corrugated ribbing is going to work for my head, for my noggin. So I love this hat. This is the colors. I love everything about it. She did a pom-pom made out of both colors of yarn, and she just did a fantastic job knitting that. I Am Melissa on Blue Sky. Great work and inspirational, really. I can I'll use the blue for the ribbing. Slava Ukraine. Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, here's the original one. It's by Lanja Kohn Engheim. Free pattern. Came out last month. And you can see the corrugated ribbing. I just don't think that's going to stretch over my head. And, you know, this is the alternate chart by Crafts Untold. I've shown that before. Okay. In one other UFO that I broke out yesterday, and will probably take with me on one of the trips, is this shawl that has been sitting in the UFO pile for a long time. I have knit this before. It is a Knit Purl Hunter pattern called Audition. And a podcast listener sent me a bag of yarn that belonged to his late wife. And it is from Hannah Falkenberg. It was a Hannah Falkenberg kit that the husband, I don't know whether he had kept the part of knitting that his wife had started and did not send me that and did not send me the pattern that she had used. But he sent me the leftover yarn, and I didn't ask for him to send me anything else other than that. So what I did with it was started this Audition shawl. And it's not blocked, of course. But I'm now out of the red. So I'm not going to be able to do, and this is a 2-color pattern. I'm just doing 3 colors. So I've got lots of this black left. I'm going to go ahead and repeat one of these patterns. I think this one. I think I'm going to repeat that little slip stitch thing. Olive is bumping the computer. Good boy. Hi, Olive. You gonna say hi? He's a beautiful boy. Mm-hmm. Such a good boy. He was an outside kitten, abandoned kitten, who got to know our other cats through the front door, and then it got cold and he moved in, and he has never left. And the first thing he did is eat something and then use the litter box. And I said, oh, he can stay. Very good boy. You're a very good boy. You ready to get down? So pretty. All right, off you go. All right, so audition. I'm gonna do some black knitting for the end of that because I've got a lot left. So that's another one that I think will be, like I said, just that little slip stitch at the end, and it's time to get that off the UFO pile and take that on a trip. All right. Do I have anything? Oh, yes, I have one other thing to share. New pattern. This is I bought yarn for this, guys. This is the All Over Turi, excuse me, Shetland Wool Week hat. I adore this hat. So fab. It's just so 50s. You know, it's reminds me of the socks, you know, the what are those socks with the diamonds? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. It just reminds me of that. And so I, in honor of local yarn store day, which is Saturday, bought a kit from Knit Darn Anyway, which is in Minnesota, and their prices were lower than other places. So Knit Darn Anyway, up in Minnesota, had good prices on this kit, which is Shetland, and I'm so excited. I'm genuinely excited to cast on and knit that hat. And it is Saturday is local yarn store day, and I was thinking about that. I will be driving back from Beloit College, where I'm visiting young middle child who's graduating this year, and we're going to take her out to dinner, and then we're driving back through Bloomington. So I'm going to stop at Yarn Garden in Bloomington, and will be my local yarn store visit on Saturday. And I was thinking about that and thinking about what to read today, and I thought I would read a little bit of the section of this 33-year-old book, The Artist's Way, which many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with. Julia Cameron writing about artistic recovery and so forth. And I've done morning pages on and off over the past 33 years, and I've taught writing classes on diary and journaling and so forth. And I actually did a typing. Olive, we're done. Where you type 3 pages every day, and I did that for a year, a solid year. And anyway, the section on the artist date, where you take your creative self out solo to have an experience, go to a park, go to a bookstore, go to an art museum, whatever it is, you do it every week in order to feed your artistic self. And sorry, Olive, you have to go. Olive loves to chew Ziploc bags. I don't know why. He loves to do it. So I'm going to read from The Artist's Way, just a couple paragraphs about the artist's date. And I encourage you, first of all, if you haven't read this book, I think it's pretty good. And if you haven't done an artist date, take yourself out for something fun and creative to gather ideas. The idea is not to go on a shopping spree, but to go and find a place, and it might be a yarn store, where you can get ideas out of your house. And it might, some weeks it might be sitting on your back porch with a stack of old knitting magazines and going through them and giving yourself that time. And thrift stores visits are another low cost, for most people, way of, feeding yourself and gathering ideas on things you can do. So I will read from Julia Cameron, The Artist Date. What exactly is an artist date? An artist date is a block of time, perhaps 2 hours weekly, especially set aside and committed to nurturing your creative consciousness. Your inner artist. In its most primary form, the artist date is an excursion, a play date that you pre plan and defend against all interlopers. You do not take anyone on this artist date but you and your inner artist, aka your creative child. That means no lovers, friends, spouses, children. No taggers on of any stripe. If you think this sounds stupid or that you will never be able to afford the time, identify that reaction as resistance. You cannot afford not to find time for artist dates. Your artist needs to be taken out, pampered, and listened to. There are many ways to evade this commitment, as there are days of your life. I'm too broke is the favored one, although no one said the date need involve elaborate expenses. Your artist is a child. Time with a parent matters more than money spent. A visit to a great junk store, a solo trip to the beach, an old movie seen alone, a visit to an aquarium or an art gallery. These cost time, not money. Remember, it is the time commitment that is sacred. You are likely to find yourself avoiding your artist dates. Recognize this resistance as a fear of intimacy, self-intimacy. Our creativity will use this time to confront us, to confide in us, to bond with us, and to plan. As artists, we must learn to be self-nourishing. We must become alert enough to consciously replenish our creative resources as we draw on them, to restock the trout pond, so to speak. I call this process filling the well. And there's more. I recommend that you look for this. Lots of libraries have this book, if you don't have it already. There's a lot in there about nurturing your artistic self. And as knitters, we are artists. No doubt about that. Remember that. You're an artist. I am an artist. Say that to yourself 3,000 times a day, preferably while knitting. And on that note, I wish you well. I will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great time knitting. Bye-bye.
On Wednesdays at 7, sharp as can be, Blue Gal's calling, come knit with me.